I just wanted to, share my story here with you this morning. I started taking Laminine on October 15th, 2011. And I have not felt this good, slept this well, or had this much energy in years. So, the last few years have been very challenging for me health-wise. A little over 6 years ago, I had a liver transplant. And the reason for the liver transplant was because of liver cancer. I underwent a rigorous chemo regimen for the cancer. Subsequent to that, another treatment for hepatitis C. Now, both of those chemotherapies, the interferon, the ribavirin, is very, very physically depleting regimen. Very, very demanding. Creates extreme stress on the body. And a depression enveloped from that. And another condition, because of one of the medications that I was on for the chemo, I developed a condition called transfusion-dependent anemia. So I literally had to have blood transfusions every week just to survive, because my white blood cells and platelets had dropped to dangerously low levels. And one of the side effects of the immune suppressive drugs necessary to prevent rejection of a transplanted liver is also elevated blood sugar. So you develop what is known as pharmaceutical-induced diabetes. And I had to manage my blood sugar levels and with insulin and pills and keep the diabetes under control. And right in the middle of all that, I suffered a left frontal lobe stroke, which affected all the movement on my right side. And if that weren't enough as an additional torment, because of these medications that I was on, I developed an extremely painful gout condition which flared up several times during the course of the treatment. So consequently, the trauma, the effects of the major surgery, the chemo, the many medications I was on, 34 medications in all, and a lot of them were because I was taking a medication that created a side effect to take another medication to counteract that. And all of the reoccurring gout attacks, it left me in a depressed state, physically, emotionally, mentally, that lingered long after I had gotten back on my feet. Now, I had seemingly beaten the odds, but I actually began to feel like it was a victim of a cruel joke, because on one hand, I was blessed to have been given a second chance to survive all those health challenges, but was I going to have to live in this depression for the rest of my life? So I sort of resigned myself to feeling that way, and that lasted up until the time I was introduced to Laminine. Now, I was subjected to the many, many difficult effects of these 34 meds that I was prescribed for the various conditions and symptoms that followed as prescribed by the medical advisors and doctors. Now, usually I'm a pretty upbeat, positive, and active person, and the way the depression affected me was through lethargy. Now, I literally lost my motivation and zest for life. I just didn't even want to get up in the morning. I would often stay in bed until late in the afternoon or early morning, or late morning, and I typically would just have enough energy to go from the bedroom into the couch. And at that time, my 90-year-old father-in-law was living with us, and all I had the energy to do was just sit on the couch and watch the old movie channels and the military channel with my father-in-law. And that was it. That was my life. And then I was introduced to Laminine by a friend of mine. But because of my liver transplant, I was very cautious about taking anything into my body that might cause a rejection of my new liver. So I just started with one capsule. And when I realized that not only did my liver not react negatively, it seemed to say, give me some more of this. And I really felt a positive difference. Now, once I was confident that no ill effects would occur from this unique nutritional food source, I just absolutely, it was like someone opened up the window shades and let the sun come back into my life. And when I actually got on the loading dose, that made all the difference in the world. And within just a few days, you know, it was almost as if the fog lifted in my life. So I'm back now, just feeling like my old, positive, energetic, fully engaged person that I used to be. I'm committed to making a difference in people's lives with Lamininey. And by the way, I have reduced my medications to just 2 of the most important ones for the immune suppressives, which are essential. Thank you. I'm off all those medications, all the side effects, and I've never seen a product do so much this fast for so many people in so many unique ways. Lamininey works wonders. People love it and typically want more of it as fast as they can reorder. I just want to thank Lunch Farm Global and Lamininey for changing my life and restoring my health and well-being. Thank you.